Oracle Forms Developer, that is 10G with the version 10G. Oracle Forms Developer is basically a tool of Oracle which provides the user interface to deal with the database. Oracle Forms Developer tool is used to develop the forms which provides the essential features like creating of the objects to interact with the database. It provides a simple business logic. Let's start with the Oracle Forms Developer. Before you begin with this course, you should be able to create SQL statements, create PLSQL constructs, including conditional statements, loops, procedures, and functions, create PLSQL stored, that is the server procedures, functions, and packages, use a graphical user interface, use a web browser. So first is the create SQL statements. So of course you will be aware with the SQL statements, that is structured query language. So let's have just a basic idea about the SQL. SQL is basically used for the structured query language, that is to retrieve, update, and to deal with the database data. That is the let's have a look with history of the SQL. So Dr. E.F. Codd published the paper A Relational Model of the Data for Large Shared Data Banks in June 1970 in the Association of Computer Machinery Journal. Communications of the ACM. Codd's model is now accepted as the definitive model for Relational Database Management System, that is RDBMS. So, the language, Structured English Query Language, that is SQL, was developed by IBM Corporation Inc. to use Codd's model. SQL later became SQL, still pronounced SQL, somewhere. In 1979, Relational Software Inc., now Oracle, that is introduced the first commercial available implementation of SQL. Today, SQL is accepted as the standard RDBMS language. Now let's have a look at what is Oracle SQL. So the structured query language is the set of statements with which all programs, users, access data in an Oracle database. Application programs and Oracle tools often allow users access to the database without using SQL directly, but these applications in turn must use SQL when executing the user's request. So, let's have the background information on SQL as used by most of the database systems. For now, let's see how SQL works. It processes sets of data as groups rather than as individual units. It provides automatic navigation to the data. It uses statements that are complex and powerful individually and that therefore stand alone. Flow control statements were not part of SQL originally, but they are found in the recently accepted optional part of the SQL. Flow control statements are commonly known as persistent stored models, and the PLSQL extension to Oracle SQL is similar to the PSM. There are so many tools which support the SQL. Oracle SQL Developer is a graphical tool and a very popular tool that lets us browse, create, edit and delete database objects, edit and debug PLSQL code, run SQL statements and scripts, manipulate and export data, and create and view reports. With SQL Developer, you can connect to any target Oracle database schema using standard Oracle database authentication. Once connected, you can perform operations on objects in the database. You can also connect to schemas for selected third party, such as MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and Microsoft Access, view metadata and the data in these databases, and migrate this database to Oracle. Second one is the SQL Star Plus. It is an interactive and batch query tool that is installed with every Oracle database server or client installation. It has a command line user interface and a web-based user interface called iSQL Star Plus. Oracle J Developer is a multiple platform integrated development environment supporting the complete lifecycle of development for Java, web services, and SQL. It provides a graphical interface for executing and tuning SQL statements. Note: SQL statements are terminated differently in different programming environments. So, the semicolon for the SQL Star Plus as well as SQL Developer is used for the end of the statement. Tools support Visual Schema Diagrammer, that is database modeler. It also supports editing, compiling, and debugging PLSQL applications. Oracle Applications Express is a hosted environment for developing and deploying database-related web applications. So, now let's have a look for the SQL in a more deep way. SQL provides the statements for variety of tasks like querying data, inserting, updating and deleting rows in a table, creating, replacing, altering and dropping objects, controlling access to the database and its object, guaranteeing database consistency and integrity. So SQL unifies all of the preceding tasks in one consistent language. Now, in SQL there are basically three type of languages, that is DDL, DML and DCL. DDL is the data definition language, which includes creating the table, renaming the table, drop of the table, and DML, that is the data manipulation language, is including the select statements, which is used to view the table data, then deleting and truncate of the table. DCL statement, that is the data control language, statements are used to as a grant and revoke of the privileges. It generally used to give the privileges to the user or a schema, or to revoke the access or the schemas. And one more statements or the part of the language of SQL is a TCL, that is the transaction control language. It includes the commit and rollback. Commit is to save the changes into the database, and the rollback is to undo the changes which is made the last. Now let's have a look with the creating of the PLSQL constructs, including conditional statements, loops, procedures and functions. PLSQL is the advanced of the SQL, that is the procedural language for the SQL, that is the structured query language. So basically SQL provides the single line statement or the single commands to fire on the database and the retrieve with the single statement, but sometimes we need to have to do some operations which is present in the database, like continuously looping of the some data, and so PLSQL provides that feature to wrap up of the different or the many commands into a single unit, that is procedure or the functions. It includes the packages also, which is used to combine or make together of the procedure and functions. So PLSQL provides some stored procedures also, and the functions and packages of course, so which is resides on the server. PLSQL stored procedures are used to directly call when we need that particular procedure. We will directly call it whenever according to our usage. Next is the graphical interface. For the Oracle, if we will talk about the Oracle Forms Developer, it provides us the graphical interface in which we can see the text box or the all graphical components, that is the drop down menu, checklist, checkbox, radio buttons, all those things. That's why it is called as the graphical interface. Next is the use of web browser. Obviously we need to use a web browser. You must be aware with this. Okay, so next slide will present us. Let's have the introduction. First is the objectives, then course objectives and the course contents. So in the objectives, after completing this lesson, we will be available to do the identify the course objectives, identify the course content and structure. Course objectives are, after completing this course, we will be able to do following, that is the create form models including components for database interaction and GUI controls, display form models in a multiple windows and a variety of layout styles, test form models in a web browser, debug form models in a three-tier environment. Three-tier environment means the client, server and the database, in which client is called as the end user, that is the first tier. Middle tier will be the server which interact with the database, and the database will be the last tier, that is we call as second tier or the last tier. So introduction to Oracle Forms Developer and Oracle Form Services. Let's begin with the chapter 1. So this course will teach us how to build effective and professional form applications using Oracle Forms Developer tool. This lesson identifies the key features of the Oracle Application Server 10G, Oracle Developer Suite 10G, Oracle Forms Services, Oracle Forms Developer and the course application model and contents. There are many terms used in this course that may be unfamiliar to you. For the glossary, you can refer this website. So let's have a look with first of all Internet Computing Solution. Oracle offers a range of tools and deployment options for internet computing. Different types of developers and applications require different tool sets. Enterprise application developers needed a declarative model-based approach. Oracle Designer and Oracle Forms Developer provide this solution. This course focuses on how you can use Oracle Forms Developer to rapidly build scalable, high-performance application for the internet and then deploy the applications with Oracle Forms services. Component developers need different tools and methods. For these developers, Java is the language of choice. Oracle Solutions is a JDeveloper. For website developers and the content publishers who want to build self-service dynamic hypertext markup language, that is HTML applications for websites, Oracle Portal provides an easy-to-use development environment that resides entirely inside an Oracle database. Portal provides a browser-based environment from development through deployment of an application. For management information system, that is MIS developers and the end users, there is Oracle Business Intelligence toolset, Oracle Reports Developer, Oracle Reports Services, Oracle Discover, and Oracle Express provides a whole range for reporting, analysis, and trending facilities.